Gemini, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early March 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Gemini collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for our beautiful Gemini collective in early March? We're just moving along through the year. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Gemini in early March. What's the vibe here? What's the energy? Real quick. There we go. I'll take it. So we have the Alchemist. I like this card because it can represent manifesting, creating, focused intention. This is a very serious type of energy that reminds me of the Hermit within the tarot deck. So obviously that means that there's a lot of layers to this. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the March subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, I love the illustration here. We have this stern looking individual holding a potion in their hand. It's got the little alchemical symbol for the sun illuminating the third eye. So to me, it just gives hermit vibes. Now, for some of you, that could be a Virgo you're connected to. Maybe you have Virgo placements yourself. But this separates in a few different ways. For one, maybe some of you are in hermit mode. Maybe this is like a little retracted, pulled back, very private type of energy. There's nothing wrong with that. But this can also represent like a laser focus on something, because that's what he's doing. He's focused on this creation. So for a lot of Geminis, either there is something, a situation that spirit wants you to pay very close attention to, or maybe there is just a very specific thing that's taken up a lot of your brain power when this card is here. I like it. I think it's great for creating. I believe that the future and reality is malleable. And when I see this, it's all about manifesting and creating what we want. So if you are purposely praying or manifesting, to me, it feels like those can have a big effect in this time. So we're just going to put him down right there. He seems busy. And again, it could be about focused intention, like focus on what you do want. Don't focus on what you don't want. So we're just going to let him chill out. He's busy, right? Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the beautiful Geminis. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. And I'll say this, for the past few weeks, the energy's been a little wild for the Geminis. So hopefully everything's been okay. But the reading was titled A Big Problem. Now, the good thing about it, yeah, I mean, it did seem problematic. But the thing I liked is that it didn't seem insurmountable. It seemed like something where it's like, all right, even if the energy's a little clunky, even if it's not optimal, it's something that you could push through. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Gemini. What do we got in early March? Early March for Gemini, please. Quick. The moon. All right. And that ties similar to like what this alchemist is doing, because the moon is just like a very subtle, quiet, private type of energy. But it's not a bad thing. I mean, it does represent the zodiacal season we're in right now. So let's get a couple more. What do we got here for Gemini? Oh, okay. So Tower, position number 2. Don't get freaked out about it. It's just an intensification is what I'm seeing. And you're not the only one this week that's gotten the Tower, trust me. Let's get one more out here. We'll see what we have for Gemini in early March. Cool. Ace of Cups, all water. So that's pretty important that all this energy is water energy. But it's smoother on the outsides, which I think is a good thing. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always like to look at the elements, because I feel like that tells us the areas that could be highlighted or how the energy is moving. And I already mentioned it's all water this week with the moon, the Tower, the Ace of Cups, all water element, which is important for one reason or another. Now, I personally like when we have multiple elements in the main part of the spread, because when there's all one, it could be a little lopsided in energy. So that's something to watch out for. But when it comes to water, It's the emotional realm, it's the inner world. Not so much the logical, pragmatic mind that a lot of Geminis are gifted with. It's more about what I'm feeling. So it can represent things, situations, people that we are emotionally invested in, things that we care deeply for. Water is great for creativity. So whether it's creative problem solving, any type of creativity like art, painting, music, expressing oneself, it's great for communicating one's feelings as well. So I do like it in that sense. But we have this energy here where it's like it could go that way or that way. Like we see the two paths going up. The downside with water is that it's always moving. It's hard to pin down. It's always ebbing and flowing. So we're going to watch out for the emotions, but the fact that the water is always moving could be like, all right, well, it's one way 1 second, then another way the next. So it's something we'll need to pay attention to. And again, big feelings, big feelings. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the moon. Now, I already mentioned it does tie into the zodiacal season we're in right now, currently Pisces season. This is a Pisces card, and it could also represent the Cancer collective as well. So Pisces or Cancer. But if we're not saying this as a person, I already mentioned that the moon is a very subtle type of energy. It's not like the sun where it's out there blazing in glory and super intense. It's subtle. Now, the moon itself, it can represent energetic sensitivity. It can represent intuition. It can represent dream states, altered states of consciousness, uh, meditation, and all this kind of spiritual stuff. I like the moon for that, but it's highly, highly honed in. So just know, like your gut intuition, your instincts. I mean, they could be picking up on a lot of stuff. You could be extra, extra sensitive to energy when the moon is here. Now, the biggest thing with the moon, whether it's positive or challenge, is the fact that I see it as the biggest mystery card in the whole entire tarot deck. So whether it's something we don't quite see, something that's off our radar, unexpected, surprising, all that kind of stuff. The moon, in its roughest sense, can represent purposeful secrecy. So I'm not sure if there's something you're purposely trying to keep quiet, or somebody is. Like when the moon is here, something we do want to look into further, because the moon can represent illusion. What you see is not always what you get when we have the moon, especially in the first position. Now, moving to the middle, and remember, all these cards, they could be different situations. They could all tie into the same situation as well. But we have the Tower. Now, I always say don't get freaked out about this card. You're not the only one that's gotten it this week. So this might be a theme across some zodiac signs. It does connect to Scorpio energy. So maybe you have some Scorpio placements. Maybe you're connected to Scorpio. But the overarching theme, for better or for worse, when it comes to the Tower is shock. It's an energy, it's very explosive, it's very sudden, it's very shocking. And I always say, not every tower is a bad tower. Sometimes towers are great. Sometimes this is something that goes way better than expected, or something that comes in out of the blue that actually winds up serving you. So we do need to look and see like what type of tower this can be. Can it represent endings? Yes. Can it represent the close of the cycle? Yes. Could it represent hitting the reset button? Sure. It's also a very big karmic energy, so it does tie into the big universal plan. So this card does often show up when things are shifting or changing. So we'll take a close look at that. Now, moving to the back end, the reason I'm feeling hopeful is because we got the moon, we got the tower, we have a lot of mystery, we have a lot of questions, we have a lot of powerful energy at play. The Ace of Cups is much more subtle in a positive way. Now, I always say with all aces, I love them. They represent offers and opportunities. They could be great for conversations and talks, whether it's a new chapter. So I find it interesting that we have the Tower and then the Ace of Cups, where it's like we're turning a page here, which I think is really good. Now, does this just have to tie into emotional events? No. Does it just have to be conversation or emotional offers? Absolutely not. But this does tie into that in a very big way. It's fresh. It's a rejuvenating type of energy. That's what I like about the Ace of Cups and all aces. What might be the downside of this ace, or any ace for that matter, is they represent a lot of energetic potential, but they're never a guarantee. Right? Like aces, they're a great idea, but you need to see it through. Or it's something where it's like, wow, I see the potential, but it still needs to grow. And sometimes aces, it's like if you don't reach out and grab it, it could go away. So I want to dive deeper on all this, Gemini. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the moon. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Gemini, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's see what's up with the moon. What's this hidden, subtle type of energy we got going on? Thank you. That's a change. It's like I feel something in the air. Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles in reverse underneath it if you're connected to Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Usually, kings represent control of their suit, and the King of Pentacles is usually very solid, very stable, very predictable. It represents day to day. So when I see him in reverse, to me, that's a card of upheaval and change. So it does kind of fit the vibe we have up here with the Tower, where the moon and the King of Pentacles in reverse to me feels like a surprising, unexpected change. So we're already getting that. Now, hopefully that's for the better. And we're going to see as we move through the reading, whether it's a change of heart, a change of feelings, a change in a situation. When I see him in reverse, it's like, okay, that didn't go the way I expected it to go, or that went different than it usually does. Now, again, stay positive. Hopefully that's a silver lining, especially if some of you are going through some difficulties. This does feel like a little bit of a curveball from the universe. So that's something to watch out for, especially since we still have the Tower here. But again, not every change is bad change. Sometimes change is for the better, and we see it heavily right here up front. Okay, so we're just going to keep going. We're not going to over talk this. You know, the moon with the King of Pentacles in reverse, it could also represent your intuition. So again, for those of you that are highly intuitive or are very connected to the energies around you, I was seeing this in another sign this week as well, where you could be hyper toned into the energies around you. And it's like, I feel something coming. Even if I can't put my finger on it, I feel something in the air. So we're going to keep moving. We're going to see what's up with the Tower. Really want to get over here now to the Ace. But let's go in on the Tower first, because this already feels like a tower, to be honest with you. So let's see what's up with the actual Tower. So why is it here? What's the Tower here for Gemini? Thank you. Okay. It's other people's energy. Other people's energy. I don't know why it's throwing me off some way. So watch out for other people's actions. Watch out for other people's words. Because now with the Tower and the Page of or the Page of Wands in reverse, this could be a conversation going sideways. So that could be a shocking talk, shocking message, shocking conversation. So it's like we have all this energy that's pliable and movable, which I think is good. To me, in that sense, where it's like, okay, nothing is set in stone yet, is a good thing. But at the same time, it's like, okay, this is pretty wild here. Page of Wands is an energy in the upright, again, messenger, student, especially when it comes to taking actions or speaking one's mind. That's a big thing. When I see him in reverse underneath the Tower, it's either, oops, I said something I didn't mean to, or this was a conversation I wasn't expecting to have. So, like, we see a lot of curveballs coming in from the universe this week. So, if you're in hermit mode, maybe that's a good thing, right? Maybe this is a good time to lay low, especially like with all the energy I'm seeing here. Because this could either be saying something you didn't want to say, saying something you didn't mean to say, or this could be someone else doing that as well, where they let on a little bit too much. So this could be a shocking talk or message. But at the same time, I feel like other people's energies and other people's actions, because that's a big thing with the Page of Wands. It's all about the actions that we take or actions other people take. It's like, why did you do that? Shocking action potentially. So it's like we have all this energy that's up in the air. We have all this energy that seems to be doing a whole variety of different stuff. Hopefully, it does start to settle down when we get to the Ace of Cups, because that is conversation as well. Remember, aces and pages are very similar in the way they present. So let's go in on the Ace of Cups. Yeah, like with all the and it seems to be coming from other people. I don't know why it's feeling that way. So these could just be, you might feel like the world's gone crazy. It might be one of those. So why is the Ace of Cups here? And more people. So this is your card. This is one of your power cards. So I like that it shows up in a very positive space. Because the Ace of Cups with the Knight of Swords in the upright, yes, that is one of your power cards. And remember, Knights are about action. They handle things properly. So I do think, regardless of what's showing up here in the front, what other people are saying, what other people are doing, whatever's up in the air, when I see the Ace of Cups with the Knight of Swords in the upright, it's like, I did the right thing, or I'm handling this the right way. So this to me feels like a reaction. It's like we have action, 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 reaction. So I feel for a lot of Geminis, your first action or reaction to something will be the right one. Even if this is stuff that hasn't materialized yet, I feel like your response to it will be the proper one, whatever it might be. So that's good. Now, the Knight of Swords, aside from being air sign, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, it's the fastest moving knight in the whole entire deck. And knights are all about action and communication. So we do have this strong energy around speaking and communicating and talking that is the underlying tie that binds this whole thing together. So with the Ace of Cups and the Knight of Swords, could this be you calming a situation down? Very possible. Could this be you reacting verbally in the proper way or the best possible way? Absolutely. But to me, it doesn't feel planned out. There's something about like your action, your reaction, or how you handle a situation where your first gut instinct is the best, where it's like, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it, just do it. And I'm a big believer in planning and being strategic a lot of times. There's something here about just going with your first gut reaction. That's the best route. So we got a lot going on. A lot of other people's energy feel wild around you for some reason. So I think that could be an important warning too, especially with what we have up here in the front. But let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. So you notice the themes that we have this week, but I like the ending. That's the one thing I really like. I like the reaction. I like how it's handled. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we have the moon and the King of Pentacles in reverse underneath it. Yeah, it could be an unexpected change or a shift in energy. Absolutely. Could this also feel like something's coming, something's in the air? There's a certain anticipation that I'm picking up in the front. And your energetic sensitivity, even if you're not hyper in tune, could be off the charts more so than normal. In the center, we have the Tower with the Page of Wands in reverse, shocking talk or action, even, very possible. So just watch out, whether it's hearing from people you haven't heard from in a while or a conversation going left or someone saying something that they wish they could take back. There's part of that happening, so just be very careful when it comes to communicating yourself. To me, it feels like you should simplify it. But then here on the back end, I have the Ace of Cups with the Knight of Swords. That is a very good action or reaction. So there's this heavy energy around change. There's this heavy energy around other people's actions and words. And there's tons of talking and messaging happening here. So you might be more popular than you think, but now might be a good time to lay a little bit low if possible. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Gemini, please? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got? What do we got for Gemini? Thank you. Five of Swords. It feels a little combative to me. And I will just give you a positive about the Five of Swords. Yes, it could be a great card for self-sufficiency, doing things like, fine, I'll do it myself type of vibes. The Five of Swords is great for determination and pushing something forward. But the shadow side of this card can be very, very confrontational. So like when I see something like what we have here in the center and this King of Pentacles and all these other people's energies, to me, the Five of Swords is very combative. So could this be someone that's angry or upset? Absolutely. It's just something to watch out for because it feels sour. The energy to me just feels very sour. So that's something to watch out for. I do say worst case scenario, this card could be a little self-centered or selfish. I'm not saying that's you. It could be someone else that's acting in best interest. But the main thing to me is just watch out for the combative vibes. Like if you're dealing with someone and they're acting different or acting combative, to me, it's like just don't feed into it. So we're just going to leave it at that, Gemini. That's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the March subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight into your situation and you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The March calendar is live and spots go quick, so you could go check that out. But for the March subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 subscribers to win either a copy of the Everyday Witches Tarot, beautiful deck, or a handmade crystal pendant, which I showcase at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments What zodiac signs do you get along best with? Which ones are your favorite? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.